Hi, so welcome to this week's video. It's been very hot this week. It's just cooling down nicely now. So it has been up to 28 degrees and it's been a bit difficult doing some of the jobs what I wanted to get done, but we'll show you what we've been up to.
Alfie, as you know, is 15, so he's got breathing problems as well, so he can't walk very far. So we're just going to show you what we usually do with the dogs. We sometimes take them up the track near us, but today we're going to walk them round the land. There's Annie. And little Mabel.
Alright, Mabel. Have a look.
Yeah, she's inquisitive about the dogs. So yeah, we'll just walk them round our land. And then if Alfie has any problems with his breathing, we're not too far from home.
Come on then.
So I've just got a little bit of the hardcore and broken it up with a hammer from the huge mountain that we're trying to get rid of. I'm sure you all know about the mountain of rubble. I'll just show you that. So I'm just popping some of it into the bottom of some pots so that I can pot on the basil, and I think, I'm not sure that's parsley or coriander, but anyway, we'll pot it on. And we've got some chard as well that's ready to be potted on. So yep, I'll get on with that. So I've potted the basil on, a couple of pots of those. We use a lot of basil. This is the only surviving jalapeno, so I'm going to have to put some more in the trays.
We also need to put some more cucumber in because when we put them in the raised bed, the slugs got the last lot. So we're going to put them in and put some crushed eggshells around them to deter the slugs.
Yeah, this year, last year, I bought a lot of plug plants. I did put the cucumbers in from seed, but it was later in the season, probably like about now. Unfortunately, we've had a very wet spring, and I think that's been the problem, that the slugs have got to the cucumbers. So I'm going to do some in trays and get them to a reasonable size before I put them in the beds now. Yeah, so I've done the same with this. It is actually parsley. I've put the bits of broken hardcore in the bottom, put the compost in, and then planted the parsley in that one. These are the shards from the first lot. I don't think they look marvellous. These are the shards from the second lot. Chards, I think they are, sorry. So I'm just going to plant a few on in this one. So Steve's continuing to build this wall along here, and he's doing a bit of weeding as he goes. I have put my peony in, and that seems to be doing quite well. Looks like it wants a few weeds pulling out from around it. But I just think if I put the forget-me-nots in, they'll just get swamped with weeds. And as you know, we're not brilliant gardeners. We're learning as we go along. And I think once they grow and I recognise what the leaves and everything look like, then it'll be easier for me to leave them in the ground. I know some of them will need pulling out because they spread like mad. But yeah, I do love forget-me-nots. They're one of my favourite flowers. So yeah, I've put quite a lot of hardcore in here because I don't think forget-me-nots need to be very deep. So that will just save on some compost. Just going to pop some compost in now and then add the forget-me-nots, and fingers crossed they'll grow. So I've just popped them all in trays in the shade, so that I could water them, because obviously, as you know, they'll get leaf burn with it being sunny. I'll take them in tonight inside. I won't leave them out because I think they've had enough of a shop being replanted, and we'll bring them out each day for a few days, and once they start growing and they're established, we'll start and leave them out now that the weather's getting warmer. So we've got that's the forget-me-not, parsley, chives, 2 lots of basil, and the 1 jalapeno that grew. So I'm going to go for a drink now, and then I'm going to pot up some, put some more seeds in, jalapeno and cucumbers.
So you see, it's quite a nice day again today, but I'm in the Adega. I've just been digging some more of the floor out, but it's getting over hot now, so I'm going to stop for a while. I'll just show you where we're up to. So as you can see, I'm about 2/3 down the Adega and about 5-6 inches deep in places. I've still got some humps and bumps in other places. And as you can see, I've dug some big stones out. Now that bottom one's fairly heavy, fairly solid, but I'll get it out and we'll use that somewhere else. I wanted to get as far as this vat wall really and straight across today, but yeah, it's hot and I've had enough, so best thing's to stop while I'm still okay and go and do a couple of other little jobs. Won't be anything much, probably just pulling a few weeds or something daft like that. But yeah, I feel better for getting on and getting some of this done, because as soon as we get sort of down to a level where we can start filling it up with hardcore, I can start getting that mountain down. I don't know whether you remember as well, in this corner at the side of the vat I put a load of broken clay tiles. I'll show you where I've put those. So the broken up clay tiles what I piled up in the corner of the Adega, I've actually moved to here. We were going to put some in between the beds anyway. I haven't broken it up as much as what I did on the other 2 beds, but it does break up quite nicely as you walk across it anyway, so hopefully it will do some of the job for me. If not, when I get a bit more time, I'll come back and just compact it a little bit more and break it down. One thing I haven't done yet is to put a piece of wood across the front to stop the stop it drying out as we walk up and down on it. Yeah, so that should be okay. I'll do that in a day or so. When I get a little bit more time, I'm trying at the moment to get the soil out the Adega, as you've probably seen, so I can get rid of a bit more of this. So I put some more soil out the Adega in here, but I don't really want to go too much at the moment. We're a bit shallow at the far end, but Debbie's sorting through it, making it a bit better, getting rid of some of the stones, and then I'll dig it over with some compost, and that should be okay for now. And in between doing the Adega and moving some bits and bobs, I've also been pulling a lot of weeds out of this so I can see what's what. Some of the concrete bits will go in the bottom of the Adega and be tamped down. Probably some of the harder orange tiles as well I'll put under the Adega, because the clay ones break quite easily. The blocks what are no good, again I'll break them down. The hardest thing is going to be to get rid of is going to be the real old concrete type pieces there, what used to be the path I believe, or maybe even the old patio, if you could have called it that. Yeah, I don't know how that'll break down. I'll just have to see when I get to it. And a lot of the soil now is going into this raised bed, so yeah, we've got to get rid of it somewhere. This will go right down, it'll sink down to the bottom and just make a firm bedding for other soil and compost what we put on. Gonna get this in between these beds done with the clay tiles as well. That'll tidy that up. Now we're going to have to tidy a lot of this at the back of the beds, because obviously we don't want any of this weeds growing up into it. And also this is where we're going to have the tomato beds again, so yeah, I'll get some of this sorted shortly.
So this huge beam is what's left over from when we had the roof replaced. It's been wrapped in plastic all winter. We're just going to take it out now and get it treated and everything and get it sold. We don't need it, and it's time we sold it so that we can get on and lay the driveway, start putting bits down on the driveway. So we won't be able to film it because it's going to take all three of us to lift it. It's huge. We'll show you when we've got it in place ready to treat.
So this week I'm back with another tart recipe. This one is a strawberry coconut tart. So just to start with is making the pastry. It's the exact same pastry recipe that you might see me use on the lemon tart. So it's 1 cup of all-purpose baking flour, or plain flour, 3 tablespoons of icing sugar, and then 1 stick of melted butter, so about 110 grams. And then it's just a case of mixing this all together. Lovely. So now that's all combined, that just needs to be saran wrapped or cling filmed and put in the fridge to chill for half an hour. So that'll stay in the fridge for half an hour, and then I will come back and get started on the filling, and then it'll go into bake. Okay, so just while the pastry is finishing off chilling in the fridge, I'm going to get started on making the filling. So the main part is obviously the coconut mixture. So just into a bowl, I'm separating out the yolk from the egg white. And it's just 1 egg yolk, like that. And I'm just going to take that and put that in the whisk until it is light and fluffy. It'll about double size. So while that was whisking, I've also just pressed the pastry into the pan. I've filled it with I've put some grease-proof paper in to line it so that hopefully nothing will stick. And as you can see, now we've got these soft peaks forming. So next to add is the powdered sugar. And that is half a cup, and that just needs further whisking in. I'm doing this by hand just because our mixer actually didn't quite reach. And that was just supposed to be mixed until it's smooth, like so. And last is to pour in the coconut and mix that all together until all is combined. And at this point I really should have switched to the dish scraper. Okay. So bringing back in the crust, I'm just going to get the strawberry jam out. Okay, and I am adding 4 tablespoons of strawberry jam and just going to evenly spread that out. And finally, on top of that, I'm going to pop in the coconut mix. And then that is going to go into the oven at about 180 for about 30 minutes. So about half an hour later it's out of the oven. 180 was a little bit high, so it did just crisp up a bit too much on top and wasn't quite finished on the bottom, so we had to cover it with some tin foil to finish the cooking process so it didn't burn on top. Now it's just being left to cool and then we'll have some at tea time. And that is the finished slice of the tart. As you can see, it's turned out quite nice. And I'm sure Dad will be willing to try that for us.
So again, I'm crash test dummy for the baking. Very nice, probably a little bit too much strawberry jam for me, but I am keen on jam anyway, so. Well, it's very nice. Yeah, good. So as you can probably see, I've been digging more of the Adega out. Sorry about the shadow, I was just turning around to show you where we've been. So we've got about 8 inches deep, or maybe a bit more than that in places. Some of it's still sloping at the wall. I need to dig that out and level it. Need to dig some of this a bit more just to sort of level it a bit more. I ain't too worried about it being level because obviously it's going to get hardcore in here off the big pile. This here big lump is actually runs all the way down to here as one big stone, so I am going to try moving that. When I get my cement level, you're only going to see about a couple of inches, possibly 4 or 5 inches of that sticking out of the wall, sticking out of the cement. But my workbench will be going somewhere there anyway, probably from that stone going towards the corner, and then helling round, because I've got plenty of wood to do it with, I think. Give myself a nice little workbench, workshop, whatever. I've dug a lot of this going towards the doorway as well. Still need to move these bed frames and do a little bit more down there, but when you get further down here, it starts turning into a stone floor or a concrete floor. I've just had a quick scrape and it does look like it's concrete, and I think there's some more down there. So I'm going to leave that strip across there. I'm going to concrete up to the top of the step, which is about 3 to 4 inches anyway, so I think that'll be plenty. So I'm going to bring more or less my hardcore to the level of the floor there, and then put about 4 inches of cement on, concrete on. I think that'll be plenty. I will look it up first. I did just put my laser level on for a quick look earlier in the day, and where them stones are piled up, it's higher there than what it is the rest of the floor, and the actual laser line came to about here on this top stone, so there's a good probably 6 inches depth there. I'm going to take that down to level it to the rest when I move them stones, but that won't be today. It's starting to get really hot now, midway through the afternoon, and I've been doing it most of the morning, so yeah, time for a break. So that's lights out, and yeah. One of the other jobs we've done this week is actually move this wood, the first 2 planks. We brought that out from round the side of the side garden near the drive, and also you probably saw us taking the big beam out. These planks will still get used. These will either be my worktop in my the worktop on my workbench, or maybe some of it will be Debbie's kitchen as well. We'll see how we go there. I'm now having to start putting some of this out the Adega floor on the land. We'll sort of dig it in or whatever at some point, but there's plenty more to come out yet, I think. At least another 10 barrel loads just to spread about, and then we'll get something done with it, maybe get it rotivated or whatever. We haven't got a rotavator as yet, but yeah, we might have to get something like that soon. And the reason for putting some of it on the land now is this bin's nearly full. It's going to get some bags of compost on top, some mixed in, you know, dug into it, just to keep it from clagging up like clay, and then it'll have some on top and we'll get something planted. Don't know what yet. So this morning we've also just been putting some straw underneath the strawberries, just to keep them off the ground. You can see these one or two bits what I've still got quite a lot on, but as you can see we've got some strawberries coming. I did notice earlier there was one or two just starting to go pink. I thought it was a little bit early, but hey, you know, if they're coming and going to get some strawberries early, that's all the better. I can't see where the pink one was now, but yeah, it's just starting to tinge on the top edge. That's another job we've been up to. And Debbie's weeded all this bed. We do have some more strawberries at this end. We're probably going to fill this back up and put something else in there. We might take the strawberries out, we don't know yet. We'll see what happens with that. And so what I'm going to start doing now is digging some of the compost into this area. Half of this bed is going to be for cucumbers. This was the melon bed last year, and I think the one with the few strawberries in it and a couple of lettuce, I think that's going to be the melon bed this year, but I don't know, I'll have to talk to Debbie on that one. But main thing is to get some compost dug into this. Keep film. So what I'm doing at the moment is just getting some of this bed ready for planting the cucumbers, I think. So I've got already filled it up with soil. I'm going to mix some of this compost with it. And then I'm going to put a layer of soil on the top as well, a layer of compost on the top as well. So, just going to mix this in, just generally give it a spread around. Quite good success with the cucumbers last year, but we planted some little seedlings, what would grown, or what Debbie had grown, and they hadn't done very well.
The slugs got them, but I got a notification on Facebook saying looking back to last year, and it was actually only just planting the cucumbers out now. So I think I planted them out too early when it was wet and the slugs have got them, but as you know, we're not expert gardeners, we're learning as we go along, and hopefully the next lot will be successful and we won't miss out on growing cucumbers.
Just level that out a bit and I'll pour some more compost on the top to plant into. And then I think Debbie's going to be planting them out tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, I think I'll put seeds in. I'm sure that's what we did last year.
Yeah. Probably just wants a quick rake over and break some of this up as well. But should give it a nice layer deep enough for them to start.
I've just taken some tops off the onions for tea, just to use as spring onions in the salad. Well, like spring onions.
So anyway, that's all for this week's video. Hope you liked it. Please give a like and subscribe if you did. If you didn't, yeah, hope we can do better next time. So, bye.
Bye for now. So I've done quiche for tonight's tea. I've also done 2 more which I've put in the freezer, because now the weather's getting so hot, it's too hot to cook inside the house, so it's barbecue or something like this. So that's tonight's tea, homemade quiche and homemade coleslaw. I think you've seen me make quiches before.